In 2012 and 2013, there was a combined total of 489 reported cases of concussions within the NFL during the regular season. This doesn't include the countless number of players who kept the injuries to themselves and didn't speak up. Hi, my name is Christian Anthony, and I'll be talking about head injuries contained in the NFL. Professional football was created in 1892 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was originally called American Professional Football Association, but was later changed to National Football League. Jim Thorpe was the president of what's now America's most popular sport, but back in the 1920s, American football was not very popular. Over the years, there have been thousands of players who play in the NFL, but unfortunately many still live with injuries they obtained from playing football. For example, Jim McMahon played quarterback for the Chicago Bears and suffered many concussions and other head-related injuries, and still has many mental and physical problems even today. He suffers from sharp pains and dementia, and has contemplated suicide for over 15 years. However, McMahon isn't the only player that has suffered from these symptoms. Junior Seau, who played linebacker in the NFL for 20 years, also has experienced similar symptoms. Seau has a brain disease called CTE, which is obtained by exposure to multiple head injuries. Due to CTE, Junior Seau committed suicide on May 2nd, 2012. McMahon and many other players have come forward with their stories of how head injuries still affect their lives today, and they are now suing the NFL for not doing enough to protect them. NBC News recently reported that retired NFL players in the NFL have agreed to a $765 million settlement, which the NFL will pay. After many years of turning a blind eye, the NFL is finally making progress to prevent future and current head injuries to players. The NFL is doing this by enforcing more on and off the field injury or penalties, such as stricter medical guidelines, more penalties on the field, and fines. One of the NFL's first steps to reduce the number of head injuries is applying the crown to the helmet rule, which is states that no player can lead with their head while making a tackle, and if the player does lead with their head, then they will get a 15-yard penalty and could receive a fine or be suspended. For one player who constantly is getting in trouble for leading with the crown of the helmet is linebacker James Harrison. In 2009-2010, when he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he was fined $125,000 and was suspended for one game throughout the season. Although the NFL has prevented many concussions with the crown of the helmet rule, many players are still getting concussions every year. In the past, teammates and coaches would push players to play through an injury, and so now the NFL has cracked down on the medical procedures needed to be cleared to play. There are three parts of the medical procedure. The first part is the cognitive test, where they just ask basic questions about the player. The second part is a neurological test and an eye exam. And then the final is a balance test, just to make sure the player can support themselves on their own and continue to play. And once they pass these tests, they'll be cleared to play again. In conclusion, after years of ignoring head injuries, the NFL is finally cracking down on helmet-to-helmet hits and making the game safer. In the 2012-2013 NFL season, the number of concussions in the NFL had dropped 13%. Thanks to Jim McMahon and many other players for sharing their story of how injuries have drastically changed their lives. The NFL is helping keep players, current and future players, safe. Thank you for listening to my speech.